Hello, and welcome to the 11th in a series of videos that provide detailed guidance on the use of the G.Utility coordination tools now available in MicroStation Connect Edition. This is a video presentation of Lab 2, the third lab in the training module portion of the G.Utility coordination tools document. The objective of this lab is to place a proposed power pole 35 feet left of the existing power pole and 65 feet from the Lawrence Avenue edge of pavement in the southwest quadrant of the intersection. To begin, launch MicroStation Connect Edition and select the G.MicroStation Connect Edition workspace and the G.Utility Training Workset via the Workspace and Workset pull-down arrows respectively. Then select the Lab2 Training Overlay DGN file from the recent files list if it is listed, or select the Browse option to navigate to and select the file. Select the Main Menu button to activate the main menu. From the Utility Status tab, select the proposed 40 scale and electric options. The methods that are available for use are the linear method, which involves copying two parallel lines to find the intersection, the circle method, which involves copying parallel one line, placing a circle by radius with the center point at the given location, and the precision method. DI places a data point at a given distance direction, DL places a data point at a given X, Y, and Z distance along the design axis. This process is as follows. Use the existing power pole location in the southwest corner of the intersection to store a circle with a radius of 35 feet. Select the Place Circle Rad command from the Electric CAD Tools tab. The circle dialog box will appear. Verify that the field type is set to none, either at the status prompt or in the Place Circle dialog. Key in the radius value of 35 feet. A dynamic circle will appear attached to the cursor. Select the Center Snap mode, hover over the existing pole, and the AccuSnap will find its center. Accept the location of the data point and reset to finish and exit the command. Select the copy parallel command and set the distance to 65 feet. Select the Lawrence Avenue edge of pavement, then move the mouse in the southerly direction to copy. Enter a data point, i.e. left click to accept the copy location and reset to finish and exit the command. The power pole will be placed where the circle and line intersect. From the Utility Status tab of the main menu, select the proposed 40 scale electric. When the proposed electric menu appears, select the proposed button in the Place Cells column, and when the cell selector appears, select the power pole. The files currently in use in the training modules were repurposed from the older G.nav workspace, which was on the MicroStation V8i platform. One of the issues has arisen because of the differences in the workspaces between the older MicroStation V8i workspaces and the Connect Edition workspace. It has to do with scaling. Work in the Connect Edition workspace is typically done on a 1-to-1 scale, and any scaling is done in the creation of sheet models. And then there have been updates to cells and cell libraries over the years, so a number of things come into play, and an example of this is as follows. When attempting to place a power pole cell, the default is at a scale of 1. We have our drawings, the scale we selected from the main menu is 40. But the cell coming at is at a scale of 1 is significantly smaller than the cells that have already been placed, the existing cells. Now, it's obvious that the scale of the drawing is correct. A quick test for this is just to navigate to the drawing tools, select the place circle radius, and give it a radius of 12. And which is a diameter of 24. And so from the edge of pavement to the center line, that 24 feet is correct. But if we place this cell at a 40 scale, it's significantly oversized. So in order to match the scale in the drawing, in order to match the cells that are in the drawing, I can set it to 2.5, and it matches pretty well. But these are anomalies that we'll have to work out as we develop the workspace. Just to get through the exercise, this is something that should be kept in mind. If cells don't look exactly right, there's still some issues to be worked out, and in order to make the cells match the other items in the drawing, setting the scale, adjusting the scale as needed may be necessary. Just something to keep in mind. The AccuSnap intersection snap mode will be used to place the pole at the intersection of these two elements. With the cell attached to the cursor, select the intersection snap mode, hover over the intersecting elements, and when the intersection is locked, both elements will appear dashed. Enter a data point, i.e. left click, to accept the cell placement location and place the cell. Remove the construction lines by selecting Delete from the context menu. Your cell placement should appear as depicted. Repeat this procedure to store the following proposed power poles. Locate a proposed power pole 50 feet from the Sprint Street edge of pavement, north of Lawrence Avenue, and 250 feet from the center of the existing power pole. Locate a proposed power pole 50 feet from the Sprint Street edge of pavement, south of Lawrence Avenue, at 150 feet from the center of the existing power pole. Whereas the first power pole was placed with the appropriate red color indicating the appropriate symbology, the second one has retained the symbology of the circle that was placed as a reference element, and it's coming in as white. This could be an issue with the workspace, or it could be just a temporary glitch where you may just need to exit the program and get back in. But this doesn't have to hinder the process of work. workaround for this is to just select the GUPS tab and then select the Match Style button. And after selecting the Match Style button, prompt in the lower left hand corner of the dialog will prompt you to select the element or identify the element. And data point on the element to identify it, select it. And in this instance, we will select the power pole that has already been placed with the appropriate symbology in this red in color. And in so doing, we will be matching the style or symbology of the power pole that was placed correctly and applying that symbology to the cell that is coming in incorrectly to change it back to the correct setting. Connect the proposed poles with the proposed overhead electric line. in the event of a cell that is not snappable, as is the case with this one. When I hover over it, I see a little white circle with a cross instead of the circle with the dot in the middle for the center snap. That indicates that this cell is not snappable. So in order to change that, what I'll do is select it, right-clicking and holding the right mouse down until the context menu appears. Then use the element selection tool to select it. I need to drag a fence around it, or if I'm dragging from right to left, I can just overlap it. If I'm dragging from left to right, overlapping will not work. I'll have to completely encompass it. And then I'll return to the context menu, right-clicking and holding the right mouse button down. Select the Properties option. And when the Properties dialog appears, select the individual elements to make up the cell. Right now it's set on the entire group of elements. So I'll first start with the line. And right here in the extended section, in the field next to the snappable label, it's indicated that it is not snappable. So there's a hidden pull down arrow. Select that and then change that to snappable. And then do the same for the circle. Now both these elements are snappable. So if I hold the right mouse button down again to deselect it, and I look for the selection tool, it's not here because when the selection tool is active, it will not appear on the context menu, so it's still over here. So this circle on the bottom, these items on the bottom, well, this circle on the bottom is to clear the selection. So select that one to clear the selection, and do the same thing to the other cells. And I can select multiple cells. So I'll select this one, and select this one. Take care of both of these at the same time. Hold on the Control key and select each of the elements. Change that to snappable. Now they all appear to be snappable. Sometimes when you select multiple elements, it will reflect snappable just for a fraction of a second and then revert back to varies, because it's indicating that all of them did not change, and one might have changed, the rest are still not snappable, so it will continue to say varies, and you just keep selecting this option until it no longer says varies. Clear the selection and resume with the overhead power line. Now I get the little circle with the dot indicating the center snap mode. Your completed exercise should appear as depicted. This concludes Lab 2. Please feel free to proceed to Lab 3, and thank you for joining us.